There is currently no other upcoming game I am anticipating more than Red Dead Redemption 2. The original RDR that was released in 2010 was, and still is, one of my favourite video games of all time, so it's a dream come true knowing that there will be another installment coming to this series later this year. I want Red Dead 2 to be as good as it can be, and I know it can be that, but I'm not blinded by the hype. I'm fully aware of what has happened to the gaming industry in the last few years, and more concerning, how Rockstar have been handling their titles recently. I assume I will not be making another video on Red Dead Redemption 2 until the game releases, so as we count down to October 26th, I just wanted to say a few things here that I want us to all keep in mind as we get closer. Before I mention the concerns that people have regarding RDR 2, I think it's important to quickly set the scene and go over what this game has going for it. Why should you consider picking it up? This game has been in development for 8 years, and judging by what the media companies like IGN and GameSpot have said about private demos that they've seen, they should definitely show. There is so much attention to detail in this open world that Rockstar are known for. NPC AIs will interact differently in a variety of ways depending on what you're doing and wearing. Hunted deers that you kill will start to decay over time and start to rot if you don't sell it or eat it quickly. Your horse's behaviour will rely on how much time you spend with it. Think of it as like a progression system, or how it's like in Bully. And obviously there will be much more that we haven't seen yet, like for example how in depth is the destruction that we've seen in some of these screenshots. So judging by what we've heard so far, it seems that Rockstar are once again doing a very good job at making their open world game feel alive. As for the story, you new players should feel no pressure about getting lost in the plot since the game is a prequel. And to be honest, it's probably going to fare better for those people, because those of us who played the first game and paid close attention should have a brief idea of what is going to occur throughout Red Dead Redemption 2's storyline. And for what we've seen so far throughout the story, we'll get a good mix of horse chases, dueling, hunting, taming horses, and of course robberies, both in banks and trains. IGN also said from the private demo they saw, the player will be allowed to choose how they wish to approach the robbery, just like you did in Grand Theft Auto 5. As for the characters that will ride alongside, there'll be plenty of new faces and a few familiar faces if you've played the original. I am in particular intrigued by our new protagonist Arthur Morgan. Looking at his background, it'll be interesting to see how his bonds develop with the other gang members, as he is Dutch's right-hand man. And how will he react to when things start to go downhill for the gang? As for the side activities, I'm sure there'll be many distractions to fall into if you need a break from the story. You could go fishing, get drunk, play cards, race, or if you're that entitled, you could just go into a town and just reenact No Russian from Modern Warfare 2, kill everything in sight and just leave a massive bounty on your head.
Look out! Don't make me kill you!
Right, so you have all of that stuff at your disposal when you enter Red Dead Redemption 2's world. Expecting an engaging story mode, but at the same time there will be plenty of side content to keep us bouncing back and forth. Despite all of this though, there are players who are worried about Red Dead Redemption 2. Primarily because of what trends have been infecting the gaming industry that makes the player experience less valuable. And what is more worrying is Rockstar's past regarding Grand Theft Auto 5's post-launch content. Firstly though, I want to quickly address the large outcry that has been coming from the PC audience, who unfortunately for them will not be able to purchase the game for their platform. And it does sort of beg the question, how can Rockstar, who are one of the biggest gaming developers in the industry, not be able to put a PC port out on launch day alongside the consoles? Now, I'm not defending Rockstar, I'm simply telling you what they're doing. During development, consoles, including the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One, have pretty identical specs to make it a lot easier to balance out the game running smoothly on all those platforms. Now on PC development, it's a completely different ballgame. There is a lot of different specs and hardware that you have to compensate for, so by now it's about finding a balance on how far to push the consoles but still making it even better on PC. And over the years we've seen some, not a huge amount, but some games have had very poor PC ports in comparison to the consoles. And it is well known that development studios tend to hire third-party companies who don't have as much experience or control to design the PC port. Rockstar have a reputation of both releasing polished games, with the exception of Grand Theft Auto 5 Online, and not misleading misleading consumers by not accurately showing representations of their game graphics in trailers. So should they be able to put a PC port out on launch? Yes, of course they should. And I do feel for those PC players. But I guess they just don't want to take the risk and don't trust anyone else to pull off a good PC port but themselves, and don't obviously want to damage that reputation. But I'm not going to stick my fingers in my ears and not forget to mention the fact that the other more sinister intention is to make people buy the game a second time when the PC version releases a year or two later. Now, I would want to question people why they would want to throw more money at the game like that, but in some way I do understand, because if Red Dead Redemption 2 ends up being really good, PC players will be devastated that they could not play one of their favourite games of the year on their platform, because, trust me, it's a very different experience with a mouse and keyboard. And if the day then finally comes when it releases on PC, they can't help themselves. Now, regarding Rockstar's reputation, some people will look at them as, if we make a lot of money, we'll change the development schedule whether the fans like it or not. I am of course referring to the GTA 5 single player DLC supposedly being cancelled thanks to the success of Grand Theft Auto 5 Online. At the end of 2013, Rockstar updated their blog and announced that we can expect a single player DLC extending the story of Michael, Franklin and Trevor. And then we got a few leaks here and there, and then silence. And just in October 2017, Rockstar finally came out and said that a new story DLC for GTA 5 was not possible given that the original story finished complete. There was no sequel teases at the end to make us think that the story could continue, and with the original story having 3 different endings, they were unsure as to how they would approach this DLC. But given that episodes from Liberty City didn't have you play as the protagonist from the original story, and Undead Nightmare being an alternate story, it just boils down to Rockstar favoured GTA Online content because it was low investment to content with a return of maximum profit for the company. But the argument is that Rockstar have used a lot of that financial income boost to extend Red Dead Redemption 2's story. Whatever the case may be for GTA 5's DLC story, I was hugely disappointed. And as for the microtransactions that are probably going to be in the game, as long as they don't affect the play experience, I could live with it. I just hope that Rockstar don't just crap out these stupid looking cosmetic skins for your guns and horses to incentivize players more to purchase. I'm going to call them bison cards for now, until we get an official name. I don't want to see any goofy stuff that could break the immersion of being in a wild western game, which is important for a historical period. Let's just keep it simple, can we? Whenever Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, Rockstar, like they did before, will ditch every other game they have under their belt. So before that day comes, I just want to take away one hell of an experience in the Wild West. It's a strange feeling really, like being excited for a game for 2 years, and then I finally get to play it, and then whether it's 6 months or a year later, I will eventually have my fill on the content. And all that excitement I carried with me for 2 years just goes away, and then I just move on, and then I eagerly await the next game. But it's not like I want Red Dead Redemption 2 to be good for just a few years when I'm around, and then it can just go down in a ball of flames because they added some new stuff that was bad after I've stopped playing it. I want Red Dead Redemption 2 to be good in 10 years time. The original actually just turned 8 years old, and it's just as good as it was on day one. So Rockstar, I know for the last 8 years you guys have worked very hard in order to create something special. Something that will want us players to keep playing it for years. But don't let 1 or 2 stupid and careless decisions that could have easily been rethought or reversed make those 8 years of hard work get cut shorter than we both ever wanted. Thanks for watching guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me your thoughts on Red Dead Redemption 2. Are you buying it? Are you waiting for the reviews? You let me know. Thank you for watching, take care of yourselves, I'll see you soon, bye.
Step in front of a runaway train.